I dragged myself home from the late shift at the auto shop, bone-tired and smelling like grease and sweat. It was just in time for supper, but the second I stepped through the back door, I knew something was off. My old man, Frank, was sitting at the dining table, his eyes locked on me like I'd just tracked mud across his clean floor. My mom, Clara, was fussing with dishes in the kitchen, avoiding my gaze. My younger brother, Travis, was sprawled on the couch, smirking at his phone. The air felt heavy, like they'd all been waiting for me to walk in just so they could unload. Frank leaned back in his chair, sizing me up. "Look at you, Caleb," he said, his voice dripping with disgust. "Covered in filth, stinking up the place. You're a walking embarrassment. Don't even think about sitting with us. Grab a plate and eat in the garage. You don't belong at this table." His words hit like a punch, but I was too worn out to argue. I just stood there, my work bag still slung over my shoulder, feeling the weight of his stare. Clara didn't say a word, just kept scrubbing a pan like her life depended on it. Travis, though, he thought it was hilarious. He whipped out his phone, started recording me, and laughed. "Yo, check out the grease monkey. This is going viral, bro." I told him to knock it off, but he just kept filming, zooming in on my stained jeans. "Gonna send this to my buddies. You look like you crawled out of a dumpster." I clenched my jaw, trying to keep cool. I grabbed a plate from the counter, went to the fridge, and piled on some leftover meatloaf and potatoes. Clara slid the back door open, not even looking at me, like she couldn't wait to get me out of her sight. Travis followed, still filming, and when I stepped into the garage, he blocked the doorway, pointing his phone at my boots. "Smile, loser," he said, then slammed the door in my face. I heard him laughing as he walked back inside, and through the window, I could see them all sitting down to eat, acting like I didn't exist. I sat on an old stool in the garage, eating cold food off a paper plate, the hum of the fluorescent light buzzing above me. My phone buzzed. Travis sent me a snap of the dining table, my empty chair front and center, with the caption, "Where's the trash man?" I scrolled through my feeds, trying to block it out, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being invisible. I'm 28, been working 2 jobs to help keep this house running, and this is what I get? Frank's always had it out for me, ever since I skipped college to work at the shop. He wanted me to be like his buddy's son, Nathan, who's some hotshot accountant. Me? I'm just the guy who fixes cars, and to him, that's lower than dirt. I finished my food, tossed the plate in the trash, and stared at the garage wall. I could hear them inside, laughing, talking, like nothing happened. I tried the door locked. I knocked, but nobody came. I called Travis. He sent it to voicemail, then texted me a laughing emoji. That's when something snapped. Not loud or dramatic, just a quiet kind of done. I walked around to the side gate, let myself in through the front, and headed straight to my room. Frank shouted after me, "If you want to live like a nobody, stay out there." Travis snapped another picture as I passed. I ignored them, shut my door, and sat on my bed, my hands shaking. I didn't cry or yell. I just started packing. Threw some clothes, my laptop, chargers, and a couple of books into a duffel bag. I didn't even think about what I was grabbing, just moved on autopilot. I texted my buddy Derek, asked if I could crash at his place. He said, "Yeah, man, come on over." I slung the bag over my shoulder and walked out. Frank stood by the front door, arms crossed, like he was going to block me. I didn't say a word, just stared him down until he stepped aside. Travis was still filming, muttering something about posting it online. Clara stayed in the kitchen, her back to me. I stepped onto the porch, shut the door, and didn't look back. I stood on the curb, waiting for my ride, and felt this weird mix of anger and relief. I sent one text to the family group chat. "You got what you wanted. I'm gone." Then I turned off notifications and hopped in the car when it pulled up. That night, at Derek's, I lay on his couch, staring at the ceiling, wondering what the hell I was going to do next. I wasn't going back. Not after that. They could figure out their own mess. I'm done being their punching bag. It's been a week since I walked out on my family, and I'm still crashing on Derek's couch, trying to figure out what's next. His place ain't much, just a small apartment with a lumpy sofa and a coffee table covered in takeout containers, but it's quiet, and nobody's yelling at me about how I look or what I do for a living. That's a win, I guess. I'm still working my shifts at the auto shop, coming home smelling like oil, but Derek doesn't care. He just hands me a beer and says, "Rough day, huh?" I nod, and we play some video games to unwind. It's simple, but it's better than the circus I left behind. At first, I didn't hear much from my family. A couple of texts from my mom, Clara, asking dumb stuff like, "Did you take the spare key?" Or, "When's the garbage pickup day?" I didn't reply. What's the point? They made it clear I'm not part of their picture-perfect family, so why should I help them out? Then my brother, Travis, posted a picture on his social media, a shot of my empty bedroom, door wide open, with the caption, "Good riddance, grease boy." I saw it because Derek showed me, but I didn't react. Just closed the app and went back to my game. Travis can play his little internet games all he wants. I'm done caring. About 2 weeks in, things started getting weird. I got a random payment app request from Travis for my share of the phone bill. That's rich, considering I've been paying most of the utilities since I moved back home a couple of years ago. They never split anything before, always expected me to handle it because I was good with that stuff. I ignored the request. Then Clara texted again, saying the internet was down after a power outage and could I fix it. I told her to call the provider. She didn't reply, just left me on read. I figured that was the end of it, but nope. My old man, Frank, sent me a long message about family duty and how I'm shirking my responsibilities by running off like a coward. I read the first line, rolled my eyes, and blocked his number. I'm not here for his lectures anymore. What really got me was realizing how much I'd been carrying for them. The electric bill? In my name. The water? My name. Even the streaming accounts they binged on every night, set up with my card. I started getting emails about late payments, missed due dates, all that jazz. Apparently, they thought I'd just keep paying for everything even after they kicked me to the curb. I logged into every account I could think of and started canceling stuff. Unlinked my card, changed passwords, the works. I wasn't trying to be a jerk, just done being their doormat. If they want lights and Wi-Fi, they can figure it out themselves. A few days later, Clara sent another text, this time sounding a little panicked. Caleb, can you just help with the cable? It's not working, and your dad's upset. I didn't respond. Travis sent me a message with a picture of the living room, the TV screen black, and wrote, "Thanks for nothing, bro." I just laughed. They're acting like I'm the bad guy, but I'm not the one who told me to eat in the garage like some stray dog. I kept my head down, worked my shifts, and started saving up. Derek's cool, but I know I can't crash here forever. I need my own place, my own life. Then I ran into my aunt, Linda, at the gas station. She's Frank's sister, and she's always been decent to me, but we're not close. She asked how I was holding up, said she heard things were tense at home. I just shrugged and said, I'm good. She looked like she wanted to say more, but didn't. The next day, I got a message from my cousin, Ellie, asking if I was okay. Apparently, Frank's been telling everyone I abandoned the family and left them in a mess. Classic Frank. Always gotta spin it, so he's the victim. I told Ellie I'm fine, just living my life. She said she's staying out of it, which is probably for the best. By the end of the week, Clara sent another message, this time about the dishwasher acting up. Can you take a look? Your dad says you broke it last time you used it. That one made me mad. I fixed that stupid dishwasher a dozen times, and now it's my fault? I replied with a single emoji, a shrug, and left it at that. The group chat went quiet after that, but I know they're stewing. They're starting to realize I'm not coming back to fix their problems. Good. Let them deal with it. I'm not their handyman anymore. I'm just Caleb, trying to keep my head above water and figure out what's next. It's been about a month since I left my family's house, and I'm still bunking at Derek's, getting by on his couch and my auto shop paychecks. Life's not glamorous, but it's mine, and that's something. I've been keeping my head down, working extra hours, saving what I can for a place of my own. Derek's a saint for letting me stay, but I know I'm cramping his style. Still, he doesn't complain, just tosses me a blanket and says, "You good, Caleb?" I nod, and we move on. That's the kind of friend you keep around. My family, though, they're starting to feel the pinch, and it's almost funny how predictable they are. At first, they acted like I was just throwing a tantrum, like I'd come crawling back to fix their messes. But now, with bills piling up and things breaking down, they're singing a different tune. My mom, Clara, keeps sending texts, each one a little more desperate. Caleb, the water heater's acting up. Can you check it? Or the cable's still out? Your dad's losing it. I don't reply. Travis, my brother, tried a different angle, sent me a payment request for my share of the electric bill, like I'm still living there. I laughed and deleted it. They're grasping at straws, and I'm not biting. The real kicker came when I started getting emails about overdue accounts. See, most of the house stuff, utilities, internet, even the lawn service was tied to my name because I was the one who dealt with the paperwork. Frank always said he was too busy for that, and Clara just didn't want the hassle. So, I handled it all, paid on time, kept the lights on. Now that I'm gone, they're dropping the ball. I got a notice about a late water bill, then another about the internet getting cut off. I didn't do anything dramatic, just logged into every account, removed my payment info, and let it lapse. If they want to keep the house running, they can figure out how to set up their own accounts. I'm done being their safety net. Then things got weirder. I was grabbing coffee at the diner when my uncle, Ray, pulled up in his truck. He's Clara's brother, kind of a quiet guy, not one to stir the pot. He asked how I was doing, said he heard Frank was having a rough time. I just said, yeah, well, that's on him. Ray nodded, but I could tell he was fishing for more. The next day, my cousin, Ellie, messaged me again. She said Frank's been telling the whole family I walked out and left them high and dry. He's spinning it like I'm the bad guy, saying I trashed the house and bailed. Ellie asked what really happened, and I told her. They told me I wasn't welcome. I listened. She didn't push, just said she's staying out of the drama. What's wild is how much they relied on me for the little things. Like, I was the one who reset the router when it crapped out, fixed the leaky faucet, even programmed the smart thermostat because Frank thought it was too complicated. Now, Clara's texting about the thermostat being stuck on high, and Travis sent a picture of the sink dripping, captioned, "Nice job, genius." I didn't respond. They're acting like I owe them, but I don't. I paid rent, bought my own food, even helped Clara with her errands when she asked. And what did I get? A paper plate in the garage and a locked door. The best part, or worst, depending on how you look at it, was when Frank's buddy, Mike, called me. He's this loud guy from the neighborhood, always over at the house for poker nights. He acted all casual, like, "Hey, Caleb, any chance you could swing by and look at the garage door? It's stuck again." I told him, "Ask Frank. I don't live there." He got quiet, then hung up. I bet Frank put him up to it, thinking I'd cave. Nope. I'm not their fix-it guy anymore. I'm starting to see how much I let them walk all over me. Frank's always been obsessed with looking good to his friends, like he's gotta have the perfect family to show off. Me, working at the shop, covered in grease? That doesn't fit his image. Travis just follows his lead, acting like I'm some loser because I don't have a fancy degree. Claire is not cruel, but she never stands up to Frank. She just goes with whatever keeps the peace. I used to think if I kept helping, kept doing my part, they'd see me as more than the family screw-up. But nah, that's not how it works with them. I'm not gonna lie, it stings sometimes, lying on Derek's couch, thinking about how they're probably sitting around the table, pretending I never existed. But I'm not going back. They wanted me gone, so I'm gone. Let's see how they handle it when the sink keeps leaking and the Wi-Fi's still down. I'm betting they'll crack before I do. It's been 6 weeks since I walked out of my family's house, and I'm still camped out on Derek's couch, piecing together what's next. The auto shop's keeping me busy, and I've been picking up extra shifts to stack some cash. Derek's place is starting to feel like a temporary home, cluttered, sure, but it's drama-free, and that's worth more than a fancy address. I'm not gonna lie, though, I'm itching for my own spot. I've been looking at cheap apartments online, but rent's brutal, and I'm not ready to commit just yet. For now, I'm just grateful Derek's got my back. My family, meanwhile, is falling apart without me, and it's almost satisfying to watch. I thought they'd figure things out by now, set up their own accounts, fix their own problems, but they're floundering. My mom, Clara, keeps sending messages, each one more frantic than the last. "Caleb, the lawn's a jungle. Can you call the service? Or the fridge is making noises again. What do we do?" I don't answer. Travis, my brother, tried a new tactic, sent me a text from a friend's phone, begging for the login to the streaming service because Dad's pissed we can't watch football. I didn't reply, just blocked the number. They're acting like I'm still their personal tech support, but I'm done playing that role. The real eye-opener was the flood of emails about unpaid bills. I'd already canceled my cards from their accounts, but I'm still getting notifications because my name's tied to everything. The electric's 2 weeks late, the water's on its final notice, and the internet's been off for days. I could log in and fix it all in 10 minutes, but why should I? They wanted me out, called me a nobody, so I'm letting them deal with the fallout. I changed every password, removed my info, and let the accounts lapse. Clara sent a text saying Frank's at his wit's end because he can't figure out the online bill pay. Good. Let him learn. Things took a strange turn when I started hearing from people outside the family. My cousin, Ellie, messaged me, saying Frank's been telling everyone at his church group that I've betrayed the family by leaving. He's painting himself as the poor dad stuck with a deadbeat son. Ellie said she doesn't buy it, but she's not getting involved. Then I got a call from Frank's buddy, Mike, again. This time, he asked if I could just swing by to fix the air conditioner because it's swelteringly unbearable. I told him, hire a pro. I'm not your guy. He stammered, then hung up. I'm starting to think Frank's sending his friends to guilt me into coming back. It's not working. What's wild is how much I used to do for them without even realizing it. I fixed the AC, mowed the lawn, set up the Wi-Fi, even dealt with the finicky garage door opener. I thought I was just helping out, being a good son, but they took it for granted and still treated me like garbage. Now, Travis is texting about the garbage, literally, says the pickup got missed because nobody knew the schedule. Clara asked if I could just handle the utility apps for now, until we get it sorted. I sent back a thumbs-up emoji and nothing else. They're learning the hard way that I was holding that house together. The other day, I ran into my aunt, Linda, at the hardware store. She looked uncomfortable but asked how I was. I said, fine, just living. She mentioned Frank's been stressed, and the house is a mess. I just nodded and walked away. Later, Ellie sent me a screenshot from a family chat I'm not in anymore. Travis was whining about having to mow the lawn himself, and Clara was asking if anyone knew how to reset the thermostat. Frank was ranting about ingratitude and how I'm destroying everything. I laughed. They're acting like I'm the villain, but all I did was leave when they told me to. I'm starting to feel something new, not just anger, but a kind of clarity. I spent years trying to prove myself to them, thinking if I fixed enough stuff, paid enough bills, they'd see me as more than the family let down. But Frank's never gonna respect me because I'm not his idea of success. Travis just mimics him, and Clara's too spineless to stand up for me. I'm done chasing their approval. I'm not going back to that house, not to fix their fridge or their egos. They wanted a life without me? They've got it. I'm just curious how long it'll take for them to realize they're the ones who can't function, not me. I've been out of my family's house for 2 months now, and things are starting to feel different, not perfect, but better. I'm still at Derek's, but I've got a lead on a small studio apartment I might be able to afford soon. The auto shop's been good to me. My boss gave me a raise after I pulled a few late nights fixing a rush job for a big client. I'm saving every penny, and for the first time in a while, I feel like I'm building something for myself. Derek's still a champ, letting me crash rent-free, But I've been buying groceries and pitching in for utilities to keep things square. It's not much, but it's honest. My family, though? They're spiraling, and it's almost too easy to see it coming. My mom, Clara, keeps texting, her messages getting more unhinged. Caleb, the power's flickering. Can you call the electric company? Or the sprinklers are busted again. Your dad's furious. I don't respond. Travis tried a new move, sent me a video of the backyard, overgrown and messy, with him narrating like it's my fault. Nice going, Caleb. You really screwed us. I blocked the number. Frank hasn't texted directly, but I know he's behind the random calls I'm getting from his buddies, asking me to stop by and fix stuff like the furnace or the gate latch. I tell them all the same thing. Not my house, not my problem. The bills are where it's really hitting them. I've untangled myself from every account I use to manage electric, water, internet, even the pest control service. They're getting shut-off notices now, and I'm not lifting a finger. Clara sent an email begging me to just log in and fix the online banking because Frank can't figure out the two-factor authentication I set up. I replied with one line, call the bank. Travis sent a payment request for my share of the cable, like I'm still watching their TV. I ignored it. They're starting to realize I'm not their fallback guy anymore, and it's driving them nuts. What's crazy is how much I used to do without getting a shred of credit. I fixed the furnace every winter, unclogged the drains, even set up Frank's work email because he couldn't be bothered. Now, Clara's texting about the dishwasher leaking, and Travis says the Wi-Fi's still down because nobody knows the router password. Frank's been telling his church group I abandoned my responsibilities, according to my cousin, Ellie. She messaged me, asking if I'm okay, saying Frank's version doesn't add up. I told her. They told me to get out. I did. She said she's not picking sides, but I can tell she's starting to see through Frank's act. The other day, I got a weird voicemail from my uncle, Ray. He's usually low-key, but he sounded awkward, asking if I could talk some sense into Frank because he's losing it over the house falling apart. I didn't call back. Then Ellie sent me screenshots from a family chat, Travis complaining about having to take out the trash, Clara asking if anyone knows a cheap plumber, Frank ranting about how I'm tearing the family apart. I laughed, but it stung a little too. Not because I missed them, but because I spent so long thinking I could earn their respect by being useful. Turns out, they just used me and called it love. I'm starting to do things for me now, not them. I signed up for a night class at the community college, basic computer repair, something to boost my skills and maybe open some doors. I've been hanging out with Derek and a couple of old high school buddies, guys who don't care if I smell like grease after a shift. It's nice, feeling like I'm not just the family screw-up. I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, but I'm done letting Frank, Clara, and Travis define me. They're learning what life's like without their fix-it guy, and I'm learning what it's like to live for myself. I'm betting I'll come out ahead. 3 months in, and I'm finally starting to feel like I'm on solid ground. I moved into that studio apartment I was eyeing, nothing fancy, just a one-room place with a tiny kitchen and a view of a parking lot, but it's mine. I signed the lease last week, and Derek helped me haul my stuff over. It's weird sleeping in a bed that's not a couch, but I'm not complaining. Work steady, and that computer repair class is paying off. I've been picking up side gigs fixing laptops for coworkers and their friends. It's not big money, but it's enough to keep the lights on and start building a life that's not tied to my family's drama. Speaking of them, they're imploding, and it's getting harder to ignore. Clara's emails have gone from desperate to downright pitiful. Caleb, the house is a wreck. Can you just come by for an hour? Or, your dad's not sleeping. We need you. Travis keeps trying to get a rise out of me. Send a picture of the garage, tools scattered everywhere, with the caption, look at your mess, loser. I don't bite. Frank's still avoiding direct contact, but he's got his buddies calling me, asking if I can fix their lawnmower or reset their Wi-Fi. I'm polite but firm. Hire someone else. I'm not their errand boy anymore. The bills are a full-on disaster now. I got a forwarded notice from the electric company, service cut off for non-payment. The water's probably next. I'm completely detached from their accounts, so it's not my problem, but Clara keeps begging me to fix it just this once. I don't respond. Ellie, my cousin, sent me more screenshots from the family chat. Travis is whining about having to chip in for groceries. Clara's asking if anyone knows how to fix the dryer, and Frank's blaming me for sabotaging them. Ellie said Frank's business is hurting. Too, he runs a small landscaping company, and I used to handle his scheduling and emails. Now, he's missing appointments and losing clients because he can't keep up. Then things got heated. Travis showed up at my new place, must have gotten the address from Clara. I was coming home from work, still in my shop gear, when I saw him leaning against his car, arms crossed. He started yelling before I even got to the door. You think you're hot stuff, huh? Leaving us to deal with your crap? Dad's losing clients, mom's crying every day, and it's all your fault. I kept my cool, told him, you guys said I wasn't family. I'm just respecting your wishes. He got in my face, shoved my shoulder, and I pushed him back, not hard, just enough to make him step off. He called me a coward and peeled out, tires squealing. I stood there, heart pounding, but I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The next day, Ellie messaged me, saying Travis told everyone I attacked him. Frank's been telling his clients I'm unreliable and trouble, trying to keep them from hiring me for side gigs. Joke's on him, 2 of his clients already reached out, asking if I could fix their sprinklers and set up their home networks. They said Frank's been dropping the ball, showing up late or not at all. I took the jobs, charged a fair rate, and got glowing reviews. Word spreading that I'm the guy who gets things done, and it's starting to eat at Frank's pride. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't hurt, knowing they're trashing me to anyone who'll listen. But I'm done trying to fix their mess or their opinions. I've got my own place, my own work, and people who actually value what I do. Clara sent one last email, saying she misses me and wishes we could go back to normal. I didn't reply. Normal for them was me doing everything while they treated me like dirt. I'm not going back to that. They're feeling the weight of their choices now, and I'm just getting started building a life that's mine. It's been 4 months since I left my family's house, and I'm finally feeling like I'm where I'm supposed to be. My studio apartment's starting to look like a home. I've got a second-hand couch, a small TV, and even a couple of plants I haven't killed yet. Works better than ever. I got a promotion at the auto shop, and my side gigs are picking up. I finished that computer repair class and started taking on more clients, from neighbors to small businesses. I'm not rich, but I'm paying my bills and sleeping easy, knowing I'm doing it on my own terms. My family's still a mess, but I've made peace with keeping my distance. Clara's emails have slowed down, mostly just short notes saying she's sorry and hopes I'm okay. I don't respond, but I don't delete them either. Travis tried one last stunt, showed up at the shop, demanding I stop stealing Frank's clients. I told him, I'm just doing my job. You guys made it clear I'm not part of your family. He stormed off, and I haven't heard from him since. Frank's been quiet, too, but Ellie says he's struggling. His landscaping business is tanking. More clients have jumped ship to me or other guys because Frank can't keep up. The house is a wreck, too. No power, no water, and a yard that looks like a jungle. The turning point came a couple of weeks ago. I was at a diner with Derek when Clara showed up out of nowhere. She looked tired, like she hadn't slept in days. She asked if we could talk, and I agreed, but I kept my guard up. She apologized for everything, said she should have stood up for me, that she let Frank and Travis treat me like garbage. She said the house is falling apart, Frank's drinking more, and Travis is barely around. She asked if I'd come back, just to help get things back on track. I listened, then told her, I'm not coming back. You guys chose this. But if you need help finding a plumber or setting up accounts, I'll point you in the right direction. She nodded, teared up, and left. That conversation stuck with me. Not because I felt guilty, but because it made me realize I don't need their approval anymore. I spent years thinking I had to prove myself, but I'm done with that. I've got a life now, friends like Derek, clients who respect my work, and a future I'm building one step at a time. Last week, I got a call from one of Frank's old clients, a guy who owns a small car dealership. He offered me a part-time gig managing their tech systems, computers, security cameras, the works. It's a big step, and I said yes. It's not just the money, it's the chance to grow, to be more than the guy fixing leaks and routers. I decided to set some boundaries with my family. I unblocked Clara's number and sent her a message. I'm not coming back, but if you need advice on fixing stuff, I'll help from here. Frank and Travis need to figure it out themselves. She replied, saying she understands and hopes we can talk someday. I didn't promise anything, but I left the door open a crack. Frank and Travis haven't reached out, and I'm fine with that. They made their bed, let them lie in it. Looking back, I see how much I let them define me. I thought being useful would make me enough, but all it did was let them walk all over me. Leaving was the best thing I ever did. It showed me I'm worth more than their insults, more than a paper plate in the garage. I'm not saying it's a fairy tale. I still get mad sometimes, still wonder if they'll ever get it. But I'm not waiting for them to change. I've got my own place, my own work, my own life. If they want to be part of it, they'll have to meet me halfway. Until then, I'm moving forward, and it feels pretty damn good.